London is known to be the most visited city in the UK, with more than 15 million visitors each year. You might probably be wondering which are the best places to visit in London. London is known for its rich history, royal palaces, and breathtaking sights. The British capital has something to suit for every vibe. It is said to be the home of the world's most popular places in London, from world-class museums, magnificent art galleries, quirky shopping markets to dazzling nightlife. We will guide you through the best tourist places in London. With so much to explore, it is quite a task to visit every remarkable site. But not to worry, we have made this video to show you the best tourist attractions in London. Make sure to add these in your bucket list to have an unforgettable experience in London. Here are our best places to visit in London. Number 1. Buckingham Palace, one of Britain's most iconic buildings. Buckingham Palace is also the scene of London's most popular display of pomp and circumstance, the changing of the guard, drawing crowds at 11:30 a.m. regardless of the season. This colorful and free display of precision marching and music also takes place at St. James's Palace, after which you can follow the band along the mall as they march between sites. Buckingham Palace was built in 1837 and has been the London residence of the royal family since Queen Victoria's accession. If you are wondering whether the Queen is in, look at the flagpole atop the building. If the royal standard is flying day and night, she's at home. On special state occasions, she and members of the royal family may even emerge on the central balcony. When the Queen's away at her summer palace in Scotland, visitors can purchase tickets for tours of the staterooms, the Queen's Gallery, and the Royal Mews. 2. The Tower of London and Tower Bridge. The splendor and magnificence of the Tower of London attracts the visitors towards it and makes it one of the top London visiting places. One cannot resist visiting this beauty when they visit London. Initially a prison converted into a palace to a treasure vault, then a private zoo, the Tower of London has played many roles over the past centuries and is now a World Heritage Site. The adjacent Tower Bridge, with its two huge towers rising 200 feet above the River Thames, is one of London's best-known landmarks. The bridge has stood in London since the 19th century and is infamous for its drawbridge effect, making it able to let tall ships through and down the Thames. Take photos from the banks of the Thames, or you can walk across too. 3. Big Ben and Parliament. One of the most iconic sites in London, Big Ben is an exquisite example of Victorian London. The clock sits atop the Elizabeth Tower in the House of Parliament. Sometimes, the sound of the bell can be heard as far as 14.5 kilometers or 9 miles away from the tower. If the view of the world's largest four-facing clock structure is not enough, you can always make your way to the public galleries of the House of the Parliament. Tours of the Parliament buildings offer a unique chance to see real-time debates and lively political discussions. From Parliament Square, Whitehall is lined by so many government buildings that its name has become synonymous with the British government. Similarly, Westminster Abbey and the Churchill War Rooms are also within a few steps of Big Ben. 4. National Gallery. Set in London's busiest open space, Trafalgar Square, this is the grandmother of galleries with more than 2,300 paintings spanning the 13th to the 19th centuries. Heavyweights include Van Gogh's Sunflowers, Velázquez's Ropey Venus, and Constable's 6-foot-long The Hay Wain. It gets packed at weekends, but it's so large that you can usually find a quiet corner. You can download an audio tour covering the museum's highlights, but you can also curate your own by selecting the paintings you want to see before you arrive. Upcoming shows to look out for: Pausen and the Dance, October 9 through January 2, 2022. Tickets around $15, exploring the painter's grand works of revelry and dance, and next year's huge Raphael show, which is sure to be spectacular. Ending July 2022. 5. Piccadilly Circus and Trafalgar Square. Piccadilly Circus is a central place from where you can move to any of the popular destinations in just a few steps. Right in the neighborhood, you can watch the Piccadilly lights at night. The neon lights transform the decor of the area and make you feel like you're in Times Square without leaving London. If you are a theater buff, take a walk into the theater district where you can run into some of the world's most popular musicians. And if we talk about Trafalgar Square, it is south of Leicester Square and features some iconic statues and monuments. Look out for the smallest police station in Britain, made to accommodate only one person. According to most maps, the nearby Charing Cross station is the city's point zero, or where all the roads lead. The National Gallery portrait and St. Martin in the Fields Church are a stone's throw distance from Trafalgar Square. When you stand at the center of Trafalgar Square, in every direction you look, you will see a piece of British history. 6. The two Tates. Once collectively known singularly as the Tate Gallery, London now has two Tate art galleries, Tate Britain and Tate Modern, comprising one of the world's most important art collections. The original gallery opened in 1897 as the basis of a national collection of significant British art and continued to make acquisitions, needing more space to properly display its collections. The end result was the establishment of Tate Britain in Millbank on the north side of the Thames, as home to its permanent collection of historic British paintings. A superbly transformed power station across the Thames became home to the modern art collections. Art lovers can spend a whole day viewing both sides, conveniently connected by high-speed ferry. Better still, walk across the Millennium Bridge, a footbridge that connects the two banks of the river close to the Tate Modern. The views are spectacular. 7. Westminster Abbey. Out of all, Westminster Abbey is perhaps one of the most famous London's points of interest, an iconic site that has been associated with Christianity since the 7th century and has been witness to many burials and coronations. This one is a must-visit attraction for all. Recently, however, the place has gained popularity as a preferred location for royal weddings. Westminster Abbey is one of the world's greatest churches and the most famous of all English abbeys. The coronation of kings and queens has taken place here since 1066, and many of them are buried there, with its oldest parts dating to the year 1050. This stunning Gothic abbey contains some of the most glorious medieval treasures in London. Among many highlights are the medieval coronation throne, the memorials to Shakespeare and Charles Dickens, and the tombs of Queen Elizabeth I and Charles Darwin. 8. Hyde Park. Hyde Park is possibly the most famous park in London, and it is one of the largest. The park has historical significance, having hosted a number of demonstrations and protests, including protests by the suffragettes. The park's famous Speaker's Corner is still occupied by debates, protests, and performance artists every week. The park is home to several memorial features, as well as two bodies of water, the most famous being the Serpentine. Here you can go paddle boating, see a number of swans, and take in a breath of fresh air in the center of the city, a pleasant place for a stroll. It's a fantastic place to escape the busy streets and enjoy being outdoors. It's also a top place for families, with lots of open space for kids to run and play. There are diverse recreational facilities too, and there are several places where you can buy refreshments. The park sometimes hosts concerts at the bandstand. 9. St. Pauls Cathedral. St. Paul's Cathedral is located at the highest point of the City of London and considered to be another famous place to visit in London. A listed building, it has a beautiful dome flanked by spires. Sitting on the site of an earlier church, the present church dates back to the 17th century. It has hosted the funerals of several famous people and also been used to celebrate a number of special occasions, including the Queen's landmark birthdays and silver, gold, and diamond jubilees. An active place of worship. The interiors of St. Paul's Cathedral are opulent with lots of detailed religious art, a huge organ, memorials, and tombs. 10. Covent Garden. Located in the heart of London, Covent Garden is always buzzing. It's filled with shops, restaurants, bars, and street performers you can wander through. Sit down for a coffee in the square or dine out in the evenings here. It's a really fun area to visit if you haven't been to London before. It's got a real atmosphere about it, and it should be on your list for your next trip. One can find stuff ranging from handicrafts to flowers, and places from museums to the Royal Opera House.